You remember the first time you opened up Microsoft Paint and just drew these little stick figures doing the most random things? The first time you picked up a pen and just started drawing on a piece of paper, experiencing the wonder of creating something beautiful. Yeah, I never really had that. Now don't get me wrong, I love creating things. Anything from building Legos as a kid, creating custom maps and stories in games like Warcraft 3 or Amnesia: The Dark Descent, or even videos like this one. But I never really shared that with anybody. Except that one Amnesia custom story, but we don't need to talk about that. That is, however, until a couple of years ago when I started streaming on Twitch. In the beginning, it was just me playing some game with a few friends hanging out in the chat. I am the Muffin Man. I am the Muffin Man. And that was about it. No thoughts about how to grow the stream or what to do to get more followers. Just some friends chilling with a game or two. But as a few people started to find my stream, I went more into the mindset of wanting to entertain them. And I did. I played some games they suggested. Outlast 2, Five Nights at Freddy's, Visage. I got suggested a lot of horror games now that I think about it. However, one of those games was Jackbox, a party game which I often played together with friends when we met over a few beers. So why wouldn't this be a great game to do with friends and viewers? And it was! I suddenly got twice the amount of viewers I would normally get. Followers came in droves as compared to what I used to get. It felt great! My first real taste of success. Of course, the next course of action would be to find something that could involve the viewers. Something that could keep them engaged. Something that could be interesting for everyone involved. Introducing Gartic Phone, the art version of the game Telephone, where each round you swap around between having to draw someone's written prompt and having to guess what on earth is on the screen at the moment. What am I looking at, by the way? A game best known as this jokey thing where you just draw a silly thing and have a good laugh. It doesn't matter if you're good at drawing or not, everyone would be able to participate. And with a ton of different game modes and a way to customize your own games, the possibilities are nearly endless. So how did it go? Holy crap, it went amazing! There's even more people now, more follows, more drawings, more reactions, and one round now takes 2 hours. There simply wasn't any games that could stand up to this. Not Jackbox, not Among Us, not Skyrim, Elden Ring, nothing. Nothing could get the chat as active as it was with Gartic Phone. But why? I wasn't great at drawing, not even close. I drew with a mouse and keyboard after all. So why would people watch? Well, that question was soon to be answered. Hello! God damn! Okay. That sounds about right. God damn, man, that's a fake boy. Alright, guess. Ooh, that is so cute! We got a little scuttle. People started coming in. People who strived to be amazing artists and who made absolutely stunning works. I adored their abilities. I loved their work. And so did everyone else. A community started growing around this aspect of art, of drawings made by so many talented people. They would share their art on Discord outside of streams for all to see. Not to mention that everything that was created on stream would be shared in their own channel on the Discord as well. By the way, thanks to Red for copy-pasting over like 1,000 drawings in the middle of streams just to fill up the Discord. And what happens now? There are all these amazing artists just sitting around waiting for the next stream. But how could I make that more special? How could I do something for them? I mean, I couldn't draw to save my life, So what was the next move? That's when I decided to make Gartic Showdown, an event where I would collect the best artists from Discord, and 2 hours before the stream started, I set up a Gartic lobby for all of them, to give them the time needed to create the most amazing pieces of art. There was one problem, however. Gartic Phone does not have a spectator mode, so for me to stream it, I would have to be in the lobby as well. This took me through the arduous journey of having to create something that would equal what everyone else was making, to somehow show that I wasn't terrible, or at least as terrible as I might have seemed. I made llamas with hats. But before long, we were ready. I started up the stream and got absolutely blown away with all the incredible things that people could create. Everything from community-based characters to incredible visuals, and even some quite horrifying creations. I fell in love with it. It was a joy to do, and my stream grew alongside it quite rapidly. So of course, we needed to keep this going. This then turned into a weekly schedule of Among Us, Gartic Phone, and Jackbox on separate days, while dabbling in other things for the rest of the week. I did this for multiple weeks, which turned into an entire year. But this is where I started to notice something. All the steady growth which I had up until this point became stagnant. All the lobbies in Among Us and Jackbox, they would all fill up, and everyone else who came by would realize they couldn't join and then simply leave. I went into a panic. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to go from this point. I tried a bunch of other party games of all kinds where there were plenty of room. But none of them did that well. None of them could stand up to the other greats. So I was left with only one thing. Gartic Phone. The game which I technically didn't have much of an interest in to begin with. I wasn't becoming an artist. I had no interest in that. But it was the only game left that I had. And as the rounds were getting longer, we were lucky if a single round would take less than 2 hours, which admittedly did make a lot of people quite impatient. It did, however, also deter a lot of the trolls, which does seem to be roaming wild in these games. And with these longer games also came exhaustion. I worked from Monday to Friday from 8 to 4, and with me getting home late evening to then quickly grab some dinner and then proceed to stream for up to 6 hours? I mean, halfway through the second round, I was no longer paying attention to what was happening on the screen. I just simply wanted to go to bed. Something had to change. But because of work, the time schedule was impossible to change. So I had to conjure up some sort of other remedy. This is when I tried to set up special player-made rounds that weren't in the actual game, such as Fusion, where everyone would have to fuse 2 given characters together. Characteristics, where 4 characteristics are given and you need to use those to make a final character in the end. And, solo animation, where each frame was given plenty of time to create some incredible sequences. But what did these really change in the end? I was still exhausted. I knew I was on the road to burnout, the road to not touching this game ever again. But could I really do that? Could I really put the game aside? The game that brought the entire community together, gave some of the best experiences I've ever had.
Hello!
The game that helped build what I had created. That's when I started to realize I had become addicted. Like, not to the game itself, but to the community surrounding it. I had to keep them engaged. I had to keep them interested. But how could I do that? I tried everything. I knew I had to tone down the Gartic streams, but something else had to replace it. Desperate. I had to find anything that could attract the community. I mean, I tried it all. I made cooking streams, I made art streams, chat versus AI streams. I even tried crowd control, if you know what that is. None of them got even close. To put it bluntly, I was losing hope, and I was running out of ideas. But at the same time, I had this nagging in the back of my mind. Is it really just a game they all came for? Am I not able to entertain them on my own? What am I doing wrong? I don't want to stop streaming. I love doing this. But I want to keep enjoying it, and continuing to play Gartic is simply not the way to do that. So I made the hard decision of arranging and announcing that I would be doing my last ever Gartic Phone stream. The decision, of course, turned a few heads in the community, some wondering why, while others were full well aware of the reasoning behind it. But every one of them were quite sad about it. But despite all that, as soon as I announced it, I felt relieved. Like I didn't care what would happen. I knew I was going to be having fun again once it was all over. And I would finally have the option to try out things that I've been wanting to do for a long time. Time went by, and finally came the day of the last stream. So when I finally started it, I burst into tears. At the time, I didn't know why. I couldn't tell you. It was just a game after all, right? It was only once I started making this video that I realized all those faces I saw that day, all those people, there were so many of them that I would never see again after that stream. It was tough. And ever so slightly awkward. But it had to be done. I was tired of it. I wanted to try other things. And so I did. So far, none of them have been able to recreate what Gartic made. But that won't stop me. I'll keep pushing forward. I'll keep trying new things. And hey, maybe this video will be just the thing to do that with. Or if not, you guys are more than welcome to leave some suggestions in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts. I would love to see what possibilities are out there. But for now, Gartic Phone, all I can say, thank you. But I'm moving on now.